Hello, and welcome to another scene in Darkness in Dublin. Today we have Lady Karina Stormfury. Yes, I got that right. Doing various things. Just... Did you just say Brady Bird again? Sorry. Um, so she's currently in the changeling market. A couple of the stalls are completely destroyed. There's, groups of Eshu and knockers trying to repair them since it was, their stall that just kind of got destroyed. They don't seem very pleased about it. A lot of valuables were destroyed that they were hoping to sell. Vendors are doing what they can. You can see there's a lot more guards on duty than there were previously on the shifts today since everyone's watching out for the hellhound that's been tormenting everybody. There's a lot of people trying to sell their, food stuffs, should I say. They are a lot louder than the other vendors and a lot louder than what they would have normally done. One of them will look at Karina, just kind of say, "My lady, are you looking for anything?"
Yes, two things. One, I happen to have a need for meats of the chimerical variety. And two, whatever chimera did this,
It was that. Seems like a hellhound, something out of a nightmare realm, has been tormenting the shops. Don't really know what it is. It just looks like he snaps his fingers.
to
Okay,
work in science yet.
in England or whatever, they have that forest that has the black hound, right?
Yes.
It's basically a big hulking black hound with shadows all over itself and brilliant red eyes. It's been coming in and destroying some of the stalls. We don't really know why. No one's been able to catch it yet. It's actually injured a couple of the guards. But if it's meat you're looking for, I will be very happy to direct you down a couple stalls to where they've been selling it all morning. Injury and whatnot.
Excellent. Thank you.
No problem, lady. My lady. He quickly stumbles back and says,
Shouldn't really seem to care that he forgot my lady. Shouldn't she really doesn't care. The respect was very clearly shown, so she was like, eh.
so, a couple stalls down, there's a young woman who's trying to sell pretty much the chimerical equivalent of some steaks. She'll look up at Karina and just kind of smile and say, "Hello, ma'am. How may I help you today?"
I'm looking for a rich meat, something preferably untainted. You have that.
Untainted. Okay. Let me see what I can do and find.
Karina will kind of elaborate and say, "I apologize. I am used to the human pudding having what do they call it? GMOs.
Preservatives?
Yes.
Well, none of that here. I promise you. Don't really have chimerical preservatives other than salt, pepper, and of course drying it out.
She nods, seemingly liking this.
There's, of course, some racks of meat hanging up, and she'll just kind of gesture those. They look like decent steaks. I'm not really sure how to describe steaks, I'll be honest. Don't eat my keyboard. And she'll just kind of say, would these fit your fancy?
These look good, yes. How much are they?
Not very much. Do you wish to pay with dross or something else? I'm always up for bartering.
Is human money acceptable?
Um, yes, that's fine.
Nods then.
That'll just be about, I don't know how much steaks go for either. I'm assuming they're expensive. Um, that'll just be about 20 euros or so per.
Okay. Just in case she is going to get 3 steaks, then, if there are three.
Mm-hmm.
What she's going to do is she's going to slide the dude 70 euros and tell him to keep the change.
She smiles and says, "Thank you, my lady."
No need to no need to thank me. You run a good shop.
She smiles proudly at that. She did work hard to set the shop up and to collect the meat, so she's just kind of happy that someone as high titled,
Yeah.
kind of noticed. Hmm?
Oh, also the commenter wasn't a dick. So she was like, "Hey, you're not a dick."
You don't sell your wares by being a dick. Marketplace knowledge 101. Unless you're someone. Anyway, um, so she'll give you the 3 steaks and she'll wrap them all up, each in their own individual kind of the brown butcher paper. Yes. You can clearly tell there's. You don't really know why, but there's a Quaker parrot, which you can clearly see is it's a puka, pretty much. They're just kind of following you around in their animal form, just kind of squawking absentmindedly. That way, every time Biscuit chirps, it can totally be I see. Um, so what do you want to do next? You can go out into the woods and try to start hunting the hound down, or you can kind of investigate around some of the shops, or you can go to the dragon. Either one.
Firstly, she's going to check out some of the shops to kind of see where the hound would be going, because hounds are, unless this is some kind of crazy ass fucking wild town, she's assuming that it's in the city. At least until she has some evidence to the contrary.
Well, they call it a hound, but it's clearly like some big hulking nightmare beast that just kind of came out of whatever realm and was like, "Hello." Um, but you go to the shop or one of the destroyed shops. You can kind of see it, it's kind of haphazard. Um, like there are two shops side by side that are destroyed, and then it's just kind of like one across the way, um, just kind of all over the place. If you want, you can roll perk investigation.
Woo! Oh, is a hellhound a non-sapient animal?
Um, uh, I mean it's okay. It's not like a bird. It's got you can kind of it's got around the intelligence of like one of the smarter dogs breeds. I think
Okay,
it's like a
so
border collie.
nature's child applies to it.
Um, yeah, I don't know if it would because you're just investigating a shop right now. Let me go read up more on that merit again. I need.
Okay. It's such a weird merit. I'm sorry.
Nah, like I understand. It's just kind of like one of those. If it deals even slightly with this, hold on.
Yeah, it's like it's just related to this one specific thing. Like, wait, what? Yeah.
Yeah, you're so -2 in dealing with non-sapient animals in their natural environment, whether training, tracking, or petting. I don't know. It's not really their natural environment.
You're
Um,
right.
okay, like if you pick up on the trail and you get farther into where the trail leads, then yeah, you can get the boons since you're in its natural environment but for right now you're just kind of like in the middle of the changeling market.
All right, cool. I'm like just dead ass in the city. All right.
Yeah.
That's two successes on the investigation roll.
Yes. You start looking around and you realize this, these stalls were, you don't really know why, but they were fabrics. Um, or at least one or two of the shops were out of the couple that you look around. They had some of their rugs stolen. There was also a stall selling pretty much the chimerical equivalent of chicken that was also raided. But you do, as you're walking down, manage to get a trail or tracks. A tracks? Yeah, you get tracks. And you can believe, or begin, not believe, um, following that. You kind of see it leads off to the woods, which is about half a mile away from the changeling market. Of course, you can still kind of see him off in the distance, though, because half a mile isn't really
Ooh, what was that last part? I'm sorry.
that long. Oh, sorry. The tracks lead about. They begin leading into the forest, which is about half a mile away
Okay.
from the changeling market.
And so Green will start heading that way.
Okay. As you head on that way, it's about it's noonish. You decided to kind of start your day, start investigating and whatnot early. And the forest is bright and happy and cheerful, at least so far. You can hear birds chirping and all of that very fun stuff that happens in the forest. You can see rabbits and deer frolicking and hiding as you walk through. And you can still very clearly see the tracks. These are gigantic footprints, or paw prints, I should say. You, if you were to put your hand in it, it would be a lot bigger than your hand, which, of course, with the rumors that you've heard, would be very consistent with the Hellhound that everyone's been talking about. As you begin getting deeper in the forest, the canopy becomes thicker and thicker, making it darken, and it becomes harder for you to see the tracks. But if you wish to roll perception survival, your nature's child boon will apply.
Watch me fail that roll.
I highly doubt you're gonna fail it.
Mm, mm.
Mm,
Sometimes you gotta call it. Okay, never mind.
yeah, like get that shit out of here, Tim. It's 3 successes. Yeah, it starts to get a little dark, but then you're like, haha, what's dark got against a mighty and powerful she like me? Nothing. Um, and you see the tracks. They're very bright and out there, and just kind of like, hello. But you follow them deeper and deeper into this forest. You can hear the shadows in the trees whispering. You can't really make out what they're saying, and it's not exactly whispering. It's more just like the wind blowing through the trees, howling and screeching. Gives a very ominous presence to this forest. But you're a boss ass bitch, so ain't no scary forest gonna do shit. So you see some glowing, you know, yellow and amber eyes as you walk through just usual inhabitants out here in the forest, various types of chimera. They just leave you alone. They just kind of want to look at you. It's very clear that you are much bigger than they are, so they're just kind of like not even gonna try it. Nope. Mm-mm. Like my life. Struts away.
Right. She wouldn't like to have to shoot all them with arrows and shit.
Yeah. They wouldn't like to be shot with arrows. It's not pleasant. Ooh, sorry. And so, did you just hiss at me? I know the fuck you didn't. Um, I've been saying a lot today. Damn. You finally reach this clearing, and you can kind of see there's a lot of blood in the grass. And of course, there's a shit ton of moonlight now that the canopy is broken because there aren't any trees in this, specific area. Actually, no, it's sunlight because this was around noonish. Then again, the dreaming is really fucking weird. Fuck it, it's still daylight. And you see, patches of blood, probably where, something has killed something recently. The tracks, they get a little fuddled here, simply because it looks like there was a fight. And when it's over, there are about 3 different prints walking away. Or you just see 3 new sets of tracks. If you want to roll me another perk survival.
Perk what?
Perk survival.
Okay.
Tracking roll.
Woo. Oh no. Sidekick's fucking up on me.
There you go.
3 more successes.
Yes, you kind of study the fight a little bit and the tracks, and then you realize, oh, it's those over there to the far right. I got this. I'm cool. I'm a she. I'm a boss. Da-na-na. Doot, doot. Mhm. So you begin following those tracks, and once again you head into the forest. The canopy, once again, is very thick, but light does occasionally stream through. The creatures most of the chimerical birds and everything, they're kind of singing happily still. You know, they're just kind of like, it's a good day, do 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 do, nothing could go wrong. And then there is this awful screech that tears through the forest, silencing everything. Yes. Pretty bird? Tell me you heard that. Did you hear him say pretty bird? Pretty bird!
Oh, there we go. I heard that.
Pretty bird! Oh, you're such a pretty bird. Yes, you are, Biscuit. Pretty bird! Pretty bird! Pretty bird! Sorry, I have the attention span of a gnat. Um, I'm sorry. Okay, I just. Oh, I love you so much, Biscuit. Mwah. Sorry. I just adore this fucking bird. Just as I adore you. But anyway,
I adore you too.
sorry. Um, and the forest suddenly becomes still. The wind even stops as the trees, you know, which were very ever so slightly swaying in the breeze, not really the trees, but their branches. It's all stopped. And Evan, you missed it. Biscuit was just saying pretty bird. Can you say it again? Pretty bird? Come on, pretty bird. Come on, pretty bird. Pretty bird. Oh, he's not saying it. At least right now, not right now. So you can guess. Actually, you know, the howl came exactly from where the tracks are leading you, straight ahead.
Oh, fun. Let's keep going.
On the road again. So great to be on the road again.
I just can't wait to be on the road again. Sorry.
Yes. So are you to be joining us then, Evan?
I can do the joining thing.
Okay.
We are in the forest, so I don't know how you're gonna end up in the forest, but yeah.
Hunting children. Can I be hunting children?
No, what the fuck? Not in I can. Okay, dude, this is a forest in the dreaming.
Wait, it's in the dreaming?
Surprise.
I thought it was
So-
I thought it was like I thought it was just the chimerical reflection of the forest outside of Dublin. There is a forest outside of Dublin, right?
Not really. There's a mountain range outside of Dublin, but it's like really flat land that's kind of used for agriculture outside of Dublin.
See,
So
'cause I
there's a
thought
lot
the
of trees, right?
see, because I thought the changeling market was in the dreaming, and you were just kind of like heading the forest that was in the, you know. Oh, that was my fuck up.
Yeah, no. Unless I'm told otherwise, I'm assuming we're in the autumn world. My bad.
Nah, that was my bad. Like I said, I'm kind of all over the place. I had a lot of coffee this morning.
A lot of
I
coffee.
There might
I
have
mean,
been some Baileys mixed into that coffee.
Kim, that's illegal.
No. Shut up, I got 2 more years. It'll be fine.
could admit that, Sean. Right? What the fuck are you doing?
This is so it's a chimerical forest in the dreaming. Yes.
That's what it seems to be.
Yes. Due to my fuck up and misunderstanding, I apologize, Tim.
No, it's no big.
Astrid will be, I have an in. Astrid will be bored and will be hunting chimerical children.
Oh my god. Can't fucking stand you.
No, he will be hunting in the dreaming because of course he murders chimera just because he can.
Okay. What did I tell you about the shoulder? If you're on the shoulder, you eat my microphone. Go back to the other one. Go. Scoot. Biscuit. fucking bird. Okay. So, Ashrin, as you're just kind of, out doing your thing, being, what you believe to be an evil overlord kind of thing going on. Fun game, by the way, because it was on Wii. That shit was baller.
It really was.
You both hear, of course, but told Tim this earlier because you hear a screech. It seems to have come from a large cat off to the side.
On a coincidence, I'm riding a large cat.
The cat's fucking pissed about that. But anyway. And the forest was before it was all bright and happy and the chimerical birds were chirping and it was all fine. And then when the screech tore through this forest, everything went silent, eerily still. Even the wind stopped blowing and the branches stopped swaying in the wind. Of course, Karina is already on the tracks, so she knows where she's going. But Evan, if you want to roll me a perk survival.
I really don't.
Oh shit, Ashen doesn't have survival, does he?
No, his ogre does, though. He's the one who tends to be his hunting dog.
Yeah. But you're gonna have to, because the ogre's just kind of standing there. He was on the trail for the other thing, and then he just kind of heard the scream, but he's just kind of like, shrug, don't really care. And he's gonna keep following the track he was before unless he's told something.
Give me a second, I'm just gonna, I don't know if he has survival. He might do. Ashton's real name is Dominic. I keep forgetting that.
That's hilarious.
Well, did I keep forgetting his actual name?
No, his name is Dominic.
Oh. He does not have survival. So yes, ogre, hunt the noise.
Okay, boss.
Yay.
Dude, guys, I just found like the weirdest thing ever.
Oh god.
So somebody made a chart for how much like the breast cup size weighs in pancake batter.
So how much are your double D's in pancake batter?
I don't even have, what the fuck?
I'm not talking about you necessarily, I'm talking about the grandiose kind of how much are double D's in pancake batter.
They don't have double D's. It goes up to F cups, which are 39 pancakes.
Pancakes. Are these American thick serve pancakes or crepes?
It doesn't say.
What the fuck are crows?
Look, okay. This is literally what it is. Like, this is what I found scrolling through Facebook. Like, how much do your breasts weigh in pancake batter?
I'm going to assume that this is American style pancakes as opposed to crepes.
Probably. Crepes are really thin. I don't think 39 might just be a cup, knowing how crepes are.
I like crepes.
Yes. But anyway. Sorry. That was just like the weirdest thing I found today. Thought I should know that. You have poop on your talon. Let me see it. Stop. Biscuit. Stop being an unhappy bird. Let me get the poop off. Okay, so let me roll something for the ogre. Because it's going to be hilarious if he fails this. I will laugh immensely.
He's got like a million dice in it.
No, he doesn't.
The last time you rolled it, it was 8 dice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't built a sheet yet, so I just kind of like put some stuff there, I'll be real.
It's cool.
Probably should build a sheet. Okay, that's 5. Wow. Okay, damn. You got a good dice roll. So he's like, okay, boss. And he heads off in the very rightly direction of the screech. Surprise! As you guys are on the way, Karina and fuck, Ashrin will meet. I'll just kind of cross paths, and it'll be like, oh, hello. Yeah, Karina, you just found Lord Douchebag in this forest on a Panthara.
And the panther doesn't look very happy about this fact, does he? Or
No,
she?
the Panthara does not.
Hello,
Evan,
Your Highness.
Question: is Karina on foot?
Yeah.
He's so tempted to say, amongst the dirt where all owls belong, but he's not going to. He will look down at you from his saddle and he'll say, Lady Stormfury, I sense that we are on the top. I sense that we are on the path for the same quarry.
Yes, though I am not here to kill. At least yet.
An interesting notion. Then why do you hunt?
I am curious about what has caused so much unrest in the markets.
He will say, well, we shall soon find out, won't we?
Yes. Frequently, beasts do things such as that when they get desperate.
Well then, you know what they say about an old tiger seeing its end. They become all the more vicious.
Yes.
With that, Ashern will put his spurs into the Pantharan's flanks and will start to charge off.
are you riding the purple one or the green one? No, the blue or green one.
Which one was bigger?
They were both equal in size.
He's probably riding the green one.
Okay. It does stop eating my mouse, you little shit. So as I described the forest earlier, basically, the trees are kind of growing overhead and the canopy is really thick. There's still streams of sunlight coming through, but it's still dark enough to where the bioluminescence of the Panthara is still prevalent. So there's a nice little green light. Well, it's very fading, or it's not very bright, but you know, it's kind of there to a point. Stop hissing at me. So, y'all are back on the road again, heading to the noise. Because Ashrin is on his subjugated freaking Panthara. He's gonna get there first. Unless Karina's gonna use like Wayfair or something.
Nah. Shouldn't have Wayfair.
Okay. So, you know, Ashrin will be there first, but I'm gonna just describe it because y'all are both gonna get there. It'll be okay. When you guys arrive, there is, well, a den, shall we say. It's a rather large cavernous opening, that leads down into the earth. And hey, Karina, those tracks that you were following lead right down into it.
Cool.
You guys going in, or like, what's up?
Karina's
How large?
going in.
Sorry, how large an opening is it?
Not large enough for you and your Panthara to get through. Not with you riding the Panthara anyway.
Ashern will dismount, and he will basically tell the beast to stay. He will draw his sword. Tim, are you very okay? How quickly is Karina going into the opening?
I mean, she ain't running in. She's doesn't seem to be really too worried about all this. She's kind of just walking.
Lady Stormfury, you should know that in hunting you smoke out the prey, you never enter its lair.
Yes, though, again, I am not looking to kill.
You will start to notice a nimbus of electricity start to crackle around him.
Excuse me, I don't see any dice rolls for that.
It would only not be a thing in the event that I fail the roll, as in the lightning will start one way or the other.
I still don't see any rolls for that, though.
Fine, Kim. I will spend a willpower, so it will automatically happen anyway.
No, it means you get a success. Still need to roll.
I just need the one. But it's fine. I'm gonna go and do the roll thing. Actually, what realm would it be? Because he's not necessarily. He's just casting it in a general direction. He's not casting it at anything.
Probably just Faye. We're in the dreaming.
Mm-hmm.
But, sorry, Cam.
I would. Yeah.
There won't be a bunk for this, so it will just be 7. So it's difficulty 7 because we're in the dreaming?
No, it's still... Check. I need to put this on my chart. I really do. Because I think I had it mixed up where you actually don't get a -1 for it being in the dreaming. Yep. No, still defeat.
Is it? Okay. It's still a success with the willpower. So basically, the lightning will flick out of his hands and go down into the tunnel. I'll let you know. In theory, will do 6 dice of aggravated damage to anything that it hits in the tunnel. But other than that, I don't know if he's going to hit anything. He's just attempting to, as I say, smoke or panic it out. I don't know if Kim is there.
I'm probably messing with Biscuit.
No,
Well, Biscuit is
I
delightful.
wasn't. I was looking at something. Biscuit has now gotten off of my shoulders and is just sitting on my chair, thankfully, because he's bit the fuck out of me today. Oh. I need more coffee. Fuck. Okay. So you send it shooting into the cavern. And, well, you don't hear anything. You don't see anything.
Interesting. Now that is interesting. He's going to let Karina walk into the thing now.
I'm gonna check Karina's hearts right quick, because she's about to go into a dark place. And that's not fun for her.
It is not fun for anyone.
Oh, by the way, how closed up is this cave?
Closed up. It's honestly less of a cave and more like a burrow. Or a den.
Okay.
It's pretty open because you can guess by the size of the paws, whatever the creature is needs a lot of space because it's really big. Um, so there's a lot of twisting and turning. It seemed like this creature didn't, or whatever built the den, didn't really build it straight. There's a lot of twists and curves and turns. And it seems to sometimes it goes down, then it turns off to the side, then it goes up, and then it goes down again. You can see there are actually you walk into them a couple times unless you're well, you don't really walk into them. You just kind of see that it looks like this might have been a home for a very large colony of critters before. Because there are like little separate quote unquote rooms where it just kind of leads off to an open space where you can see remnants of nests. But since you're following the tracks, they never really turn off into any of these separate enclosures or spaces yet. It keeps going down deeper and deeper.
Okay. Just in case, Queen's gonna have some meat ready. Because nothing smooths along, I'm breaking into your house more than here's some free food.
When you open the butcher paper, and then the meat smell begins to kind of emanate out from it, you hear to the side a little growl. Like you can tell this is probably, you've dealt with animals a lot. That sounded like a little cub that was just kind of like like when you have like a chihuahua trying to be fierce and shit.
I do need more cubs for my collection.
Fuck you. And it's just kind of off to the side. It was kind of hard to see because this was a dark place, and you can kind of tell it's not rather small. It is the size of like a fully grown chihuahua, like one of the larger chihuahuas.
So mine.
I've never
It's
seen
the
your
size of mine.
chihuahua.
Hold on. Is he here? No, he's okay. No, he's not. He's not in my room right now. I'm not even gonna try to look for him.
I just know you talk a lot of shit about your chihuahua, but that's all I know, and you threaten to eat him a lot.
Yeah, he's alright though. He's good for it.
And it doesn't really have fur so much as black scales, and it doesn't seem to really have any shadowy wisps, and its eyes are kind of a bright amber color, and it's just kind of like grr, trying to be fierce and shit because you just kind of it's like when you meet a chihuahua because I don't like chihuahuas and they're like 50% tremble, 50% anger, so it's just kind of snarling at you in all of its chihuahua-sized glory.
What kind of animal is it? Sorry, I was getting a drink.
Oh my god. It's about the size of a fully grown, like one of the larger breeds of Chihuahua, and but it's not built like a Chihuahua. Like it's not spiny little legs and this weird little fucking body and a small ass head with some giant ass ears. Um, it okay. It's built like a Labrador puppy, but it's the size of a teacup, not a teacup Chihuahua, but like one of those fully grown, really large Chihuahuas. But it's got the thick legs, the sturdy barrel body. Um, its ears are perked up though, like they're upright, like a German Shepherds. But instead of fur, it has scales, and it's got you can kind of tell there's little shadowy wisps just kind of swarming around it, but it's really like incredibly hard to see since it's dark and nobody ever said that they were turning on a light. Um, and it does have
Perhaps,
glowing amber eyes.
perhaps this is the genesis of the hellhound that the foolish idiot was sending messages about.
Perhaps. Karina will produce her knife, and basically, she's not going to hand him the whole piece of meat because that's a little tiny dog. And that puppy ain't going to be able to eat all this. So she cuts off a piece of it and hands it to the little puppy.
It takes the meat and bolts down the hallway.
I'll be back in just a few seconds, guys. I need to order food.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Karina's very curious. She is simultaneously, while happy that the dog did not try to eat her, because she is breaking so many rules of hunting by doing all this. But well, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. She's gonna be following the dog and seeing where he goes with this meat.
Go further down and further down and so much further down. Actually, it's not that far. You got, just a couple more minutes of walking before you finally reach the end of this den. And you can just kind of barely make it out. But there is a pair of massive glowing red eyes just kind of staring at you as you kind of walk down, and surrounding those eyes, which you can kind of very barely make out the shape of a massive black creature or shape. And then of course there are little tiny glowing amber eyes just kind of moving around and yipping and playing. When the other cub kind of runs into the room with the meat, they all just kind of stop and then proceed to go over and begin fighting the cub for the meat. You might have started a tiny little, gladiator pit over the piece of meat because they're all trying to get it now.
Karina just says, I may have to roll for activate my house boon, but she is going to hold up the rest of the meat, and she's just going to say, "I have more if you want it."
Is that a cubs?
Sorry?
To the cubs?
Yes. And she'll kind of hold out the rest of the meat. As the cubs may realize, this was only a small part of a much bigger piece of meat.
Yeah, no, they can't really, 'cause you didn't roll to speak with them. But they do just kind of see you, holding the meat, and they all just kind of, you know, the one who had the piece of meat begins chomping it down as the others kind of stop and they just kind of look at you. And you have the feeling that if they don't get that meat soon, it's going to be like, have you seen those videos where somebody has like a bunch of dogs and they just kind of like open the gate and all the dogs rush towards, that person?
Yeah.
I have a feeling that's going to be you with these dogs or with these creatures.
Puts the meat down, and also activates her house bone because, yeah. And that is intelligence empathy, which is the weirdest fucking dice pool for that.
Kinda, yeah. And the difficulty is ridiculously high too.
Yeah. Does I forgot. You said nature's child does not apply to house bones, right?
Um. Okay. Well, you're dealing with. You can get the nature's child with it.
Okay. That makes it better. With 2 successes,
Glorious. Okay. So what you saying to him?
she's at first just saying that this pack has caused quite a bit of ruckus amongst changelings. Are you hungry?
You hear a growl, a very deep, reverberating growl that kind of shakes, you know, the ground underneath your feet. You can feel the vibrations through your feet as it growls. But it will give you a very stern yes.
Is there not enough food in the forest?
Two legs have been increasingly hunting. Hard to find enough food for us to all eat.
Hmm. As is the usual story.
I sense this has kind of become a Tim thing, so Ashrin will politely disappear into the ether.
Oh, she's just talking to the dogs. I figure Astrid's just kind of sitting there like, of course she can talk to the fucking animals.
I'll leave you to do your cruel thing, Tim. I'll talk to you guys later, okay?
I mean, say yeah, that's totally a thing. I don't mind.
Don't worry about it. Kim, I think that Ashrin, I've come to the realization I might have him toddle off to NPC land.
Uh, okay.
I'll talk to you later. All right, guys, have a good one.
Okay.
You just assume, I guess, Ashrin got bored and left. Or he assumed Karina died, I guess. I don't know.
Uh, okay. But after you say, per the usual or something to that effect, 'cause I can't remember the exact same words, it will incline its head ever so slightly.
I will warn you. Going into the domain of the 2 legs, they are not. They are cruel.
I understand this. That is how I lost. Hmm. And they just kind of growl and lower their head and begin looking at one of the cubs. You can kind of tell it's kind of sad now.
Oh no. So what Karina's going to do is she's going to say, I wish to make you an offer then.
And that is.
I can help you hunt and get the food that you need for you and your children. I just ask in return that when the times come, that you help me hunt some of my prey. I am not asking you to be a pet. I am asking you to be an ally.
It. She will incline her head slightly after thinking about it for a very long time. You can kind of see it. It definitely really had to think about it. You can probably tell that if it didn't have cubs to feed, she would have told you no. But she just kind of lazily bats at one of the clubs who begin, it rolls on its back and is just kind of like, I'm gonna fight the paw, you know, like silly little babies do. Or just any little dog in general. God, I really don't like tiny dogs. They are so horrible. Um, then it will finally look back up to you and say, an ally. I I can do this. Yes. Depending on what it is, I refuse to risk my life. I have children to look after.
That is fine. You do not need to fight anything. I will occasionally need you to track.
It nods. Um, and then it kind of, it leans down and it looks as if it's about to lick its paw, but it doesn't so much rip out one of its scales as you can kind of tell the scale was probably about to fall out soon anyway. And it just kind of, takes the scale between their teeth and kind of pulls it out. And then leans its head over towards you and sets it down in front of you. Kind of like a, here, take this.
Is this one of the smaller dogs or is this the big one?
Just a big dog.
Okay. They'll take it. I assume it's about the size of a fucking dinner plate.
Um, Not okay. Like the creature's not that large. Like the okay. I'm trying to describe this without having to actually like use feet and meters.
But
Um,
does it look like it could be a World of Warcraft mount?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So the scale definitely does take up her entire palm, like just one of the scales. Um, and it's rather warm, which is weird. Um, it's not so much like shiny and metallic like a dragon scale. Of course, it does look. There are scratches, and of course, it's kind of an older scale that's had a lot of damage, which is, why you kind of guesstimate it was so easy for her to remove it. Um, but they will say, if you need to contact me, hold it in your hand and simply wait. Or you can just touch it and think something. I will receive it.
Thank you.
Hey, Karina.
Yes.
One of the puppies are kind of. They're playing with your feet. they're just kind of like. They're doing that whole where they kind of crouch low, but, they got their butt all up in the air because they don't know how to, actually just kind of crouch low, and they're, they hop forward a couple steps, hit your foot, back up a couple steps, or not really back up, but kind of like hop back a couple steps, and they just kind of do that over and over again.
All right. Karina's response is she's going to kneel down and basically she's going to hover her hand over the baby to pet it, but she's first going to look into the mother and make sure that shit's okay. And she'll just ask, may I?
They will incline their head ever so slightly.
Okay. And she will begin to pet the baby.
The baby is in one of those moods where it's just kind of like, no pet, play, and begins to try. It's biting at your hand. You can tell they're trying to be soft and gentle, but baby teeth are a pain in the dick because they are so sharp. So it's trying to be soft. It's just that, even with the slightest amount of pressure, because the baby teeth are so sharp, it's just kind of like, that doesn't feel pleasant.
Yeah. She's gonna try to go with it as much as possible.
Okay. I mean, like, you can. It's just gonna leave, like, little marks on your skin that'll go away in a little bit.
Okay.
And then the hound will kind of speak up and say, is there anything else you require?
This is a future offer in case things go well. If I were to say obtain a freehold, you are familiar with freeholds, yes?
Is that not the place where your kind live?
Yes.
They incline their head. I do understand those to a point.
I would not be opposed to you or your kind taking refuge there if I were to attain something like that. As long as the two legs, they are not hurt.
My intention was to never hurt them in the first place. But they got in my way.
And they tend to be quite stupid, unfortunately.
It's almost like they do not have any natural instinct. It is odd.
They haven't had to use it. They do not even hunt for their own food. It is disconcerting.
That is. How do they survive?
They I do not believe you want to know that.
I will take your word for it then.
Oh, see, Karina did not want to tell this dog about slaughterhouses and genetically modified foods.
Yeah, that would probably not be a good idea. It would be so bad. Oh no, we go on a rampage. Probably
Hatred
not.
humanity.
Yeah, no. Random NPC would suddenly get, the freaking vengeance flaw, just humanity or
God.
hatred, something like that.
Hatred, intolerance, and vengeance. It's
Yep.
like, why do you have all three of those? Fuck you, that's why.
Pretty much. So yeah, it's just gonna take your word for that because it realizes, whatever they have to say, I'm probably gonna get hella pissed about it. So you know what? I'm not gonna worry about it. Um, then I will just kind of say, I hope if I killed one of them, I did not mean it.
They're not dead. They are merely injured.
Good.
They can is are the trees and the parts of the forest outside of your den your territory as well?
Inclines its head.
As a gesture of good faith and to smooth relations between you and them, or the last thing I want is a hunting party to come here. And no, I am not threatening at all. I really would kind of hate to see that. If I could take only but a small amount of wood to help those that were injured or ransacked to repair their shop, I think that would go quite a long way if you found that agreeable.
They think about it for a while. They kind of weigh the benefits, and they realize, yeah, the last thing I need is a hunting party to come here. So they incline their head again and say, that is fine.
I know, I do not like to do it either. I will make sure to bring more meat.
You can kind of hear one of the puppies below you, one of the cubs, food, food, and they proceed to then just kind of tackle one of their siblings, and those two are wrestling on the floor.
Alrighty.
1 moment. Sorry about that.
No biggie.
Oh fuck! I forgot what I was saying. Oh lord, do you remember the last thing I said?
Um. Oh, the two little puppies started wrestling.
Yes. Um, but eventually the mother will incline their head and say, yes, I would be thankful to have more food.
And this I can get for you.
Inclines their head as a thank you. One of the puppies is now biting on your shoe and chewing on it.
She's okay with that.
It's kind of like nom 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 nom. Mom will kind of lean over and bat it away because your shoe is starting to get torn up just a slight bit because their teeth are hella sharp.
Yeah, she'll fix that later. It's fine.
Squeaky, squeaky. And then they will say once again, is there anything else that you want to say?
Your children are cute. They will grow to be strong.
Yes. Yes, they will. To which you just hear, we're cute! We're cute! And they just kind of start like running around and hopping all over the place. Think like, little hyperactive, puppies. They're just kind of all over the place. They're kind of swarming Karina now.
She's all right with this.
Karina, that's a lot of pups.
That is
There's
a lot
like-
of fun.
There's like, very large animal. They probably had some very large litters. There's about 7 of them.
Okay. I thought there were like 3. Yeah, that's gonna go bad.
Yeah, no, they all just kind of whoosh right towards you.
Karina's life flashes. It's like, it's been an okay life.
I think Patrick would be hella sad if you were to die. He'd probably just be like, I haven't had my phone call from Karina yet in a while. Where'd she go? Probably would begin crying, thinking a monster ate you.
Wouldn't be far off from the truth.
I mean, yeah. So yeah, no, the puppies are trying to, like, not really tackle you, but tackle you because they just want to, like... I mean, they're puppies. Puppies are always just kind of like, I need to, like, give attention and lick the face and just be, like, annoying and obnoxiously cute. But, is there anything else? Or wait, you wanted to do the dragon thing, right?
Yep.
Okay. So, you spend a bit more time with the puppies, mainly because they just wouldn't let you go. They do follow you through the cave. They don't leave it. They definitely do walk with you to the front door. And after that, they just kind of, you hear you don't know how. Well, actually, you probably do know how, because the dog, the hound was massive and very loud, and it just kind of growls for them to come back in before they, they head back inside. They're just kind of, they say, goodbye, two-leg food giver.
My name is Karina, but you're well. But goodbye.
You just hear a chorus of, goodbye, two-leg food giver. And then the little one, the runt of the litter, just kind of says, goodbye, Karina.
She'll wave to it and smile, which hurts her a lot.
Patrick's been working with you on smiling too.
Yeah, she doesn't take automatic bashing damage.
Pretty much. Thank you, Biscuit, for squeaking. So yes. So are you going to... Okay, like, where are you going now? Are you going straight to the park with the dragon, or are you going to go tell, whoever is over the changeling market, what just happened and they can get their wood, or you just kind of want to hand wave that and say that you already did that?
I don't mind hand waving and telling them that, like, hey, this is all that happened. I also asked, and as an apology for it, they're letting me take some wood from their territory to help build back up the stalls.
Okay. You can kind of tell that was a good thing that you did that, because when you get back, it seemed like the head of the changeling market was actually getting a raiding party together. So now that you said that, they were just kind of like, oh. You can tell some of the she who have been, like, some of the younger she knights or squires who have been trying to prove themselves, they get kind of deflated when they say their big, shot for glory was just kind of negotiated away. They just kind of, like, defluff. Some of them seem kind of pissed.
They can be mad.
You gain, like, 3 bags of salt.
Awesome. It's like a bags of salt.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, yeah, you actually gain 3 literal bags of salt. Because a boggin saw that. And just kind of like when you started walking away, they just kind of came up to you and handed you 3 bags of salt. And pretty much said, this is the equivalent of their salt. Wink, slides away.
Karina just looks back to the knights and just looks them directly in the eye.
The knights don't really seem to notice. They're too busy kind of, squabbling amongst themselves over what to do now and what adventure that they need to go on for glory. They don't see...
Just like this goddamn Baroness just showed up, started solving problems. Damn it.
Right? Like, problems we can't just let, solving the problems we used to let simmer until we actually, like, wanted to do something about it. Fucking hell. Being efficient. No wonder she's got that Baroness title. Mad as fuck. So, I don't know what you do with the bags of salt, but you got like 3 bags of salt.
Actually, I know what she's gonna do with it. When the pack goes, the next time the pack goes hunting, so that in case they ever get like a surplus, she can use the salt to preserve what meat they have left over, so that way they can have it later.
Yup. There you go. Oh, man. Are you mimicking me back there, Biscuit? Sorry, he's been laughing, like, every time I laugh, like, right behind my head. So, okay. So, are you going to go to the park next, or are you going to go visit, like, Patrick and, like, ask him, like, have you seen this recently, or are you just heading to the park?
She's just heading to the park.
Okay. So, you head to the park that Patrick told you about. This is the weirdest park you've ever seen, quote-unquote, park. It's pretty much a large, grassy area. You can kind of tell it's used for exercise, pretty much. You do slip back into the gray world, of course, to go to this park. Otherwise, dreaming's fucking weird. And you can pretty much tell it's not so much a park as just pretty much where older people kind of go to get some exercise, because there's like a walking path around this. It's not a flat grassy area. There are actually a couple small, you can guess, man-made hills. And perched on the largest hill is, well, a dragon. It's not very large. You can kind of tell it's still a little baby. Or at least a teenager. It's not fully matured yet. And it's just kind of there in all of its pride. It's got, red scales. It's actually asleep right now. With one wing draped over its head.
Alright. And where's that now? Like, where in the park?
It's on top of one of the large grassy knolls.
Okay.
The largest grassy knoll, I should say. Which is, in between two of the, So it's like a walking path, it's this big kind of, not so much circular kind of thing, but like a rectangle with smooth edge. Oval! There we go, that's a word I was looking for. It's like an oval shape.
Mm-hmm.
And the grassy knolls are like inside of the oval. There's 3 of them. The one in the middle is the largest. The 2 between, on either side of the largest one, they're a little smaller. You can kind of guess that kids like to walk up those hills and then roll down the hills for fun. But there's a dragon on the tallest one, just kind of sleeping.
I can't imagine Karina doing this any other way. She's going to walk up to the dragon, lay her piece of meat down, unwrap it, back up, sit there and wait.
So, sorry about that. It does take a little while for them to wake up, because they had they had a wing over their head, but then, as the meat smell begins to permeate through the air, you see them start to stir. Their wing twitches a couple times, and then it slowly lifts up, and you just see these 2 massive blue eyes just kind of staring at you from under a wing, and then it looks down at the meat, and then it moves its head out from underneath its wing and sniffs at the meat before just taking it in its mouth and eating it.
I heard rumors about you being here. I'm surprised you're actually here.
This is a comfy spot.
It does seem quite comfy.
Indeed.
I have to ask, has anyone of my kind given you problems yet?
I don't believe any of your kind know I'm here. I have been left alone for the most part.
What Karina's going to do is she's going to kind of like hold her cell phone up to her head, mostly so that way it looks like she's talking to someone rather than just talking to air.
Good idea.
I've made this mistake before in games. It doesn't go well.
I'd just be kind of like, you hear a car pull up in the distance and some people walking towards you. You read on the side of the van. Clearly a mental hospital.
God damn it. But yeah, she's gonna say, well, if it means anything, I have no intention of telling anyone you're here.
Good. It will kind of move its head towards you, and like I said, it's not that large. It's an immature dragon. So it's not like the astounding, like, 40 feet, you know, of whoa. Instead, you know, it's like half that. Itty bitty. Like, you could probably just kind of, like, yeah. And it will just kind of crane its head towards you, sniff you a couple times, and say, "Is there something you need?"
Me? No. I'm not going to lie, I was curious about the dragon here.
Well, has your curiosity been sated?
She'll hold out her hand and wiggle it.
Huh.
What do you do here?
Hmm?
What do you do here?
Sleep. Eat. Sleep. What do you do?
Sleep. Hunt. Get into political dick measuring contests with others that share my ears.
That sounds utterly horrible and boring.
That last part is very boring.
Huh? I feel sorry for you.
Don't. I don't.
Well, then I do not.
Tell me, do you have treasure yet?
Not yet. I'm working on getting some. Slowly but surely, I've been lazy.
Do you think you would ever want help getting some of that treasure?
It narrows its eyes at you and brings its head really close. Depends. Would I have to share it?
Well, depending on what we got, we would split that. Your treasure would be yours, mine would be mine. You would be sharing what you get.
It just kind of
Yes.
snorts. Why would I have help for searching for treasure and then have to split it when I could find it myself and keep it?
Do you have opposable thumbs?
Do you have wings?
And so it seems we can help each other.
But then it seems we go back to that age-old adage of I don't want to share.
It'd be up to you then. I believe there's quite a bit that we could accomplish.
I don't see how you could help me even with your opposable thumbs. You're so tiny.
Which means I can get into the places you can't. And get the treasures you can't.
Or I could simply break down the walls and go in myself.
If we pretend that's always an option, sure.
It is always an option if I make it an option.
Shrug.
Yeah, you can kind of tell this is definitely not a mature dragon. It's not there yet. It's in its
No, that's fine. That's fine.
prideful
Well,
teenage years.
Well, yeah, no, she expected this, which is why she's gonna have to bring proof. But this is part of a long-term plan.
Step 1, find the dragon. Step 2, make friends with the dragon.
Dragon. Step 3, question mark. Step 4, profit.
Beautiful. Exactly what's going on here.
Do you have a name?
God damn it, Tim. Hold up.
You can just go with Angelos.
Wow. I have to make it like some big fancy fucking name. It's a dragon.
Exactly, Angelos. Also, it's a reference.
Oh, I don't get it.
There was a dragon named Angelos in the really old JRPG Drakengard.
I've never played that.
It's kind of a shitty game. It's got a great story, but it's the worst gameplay ever. I'll tell you some more about it later.
So, now that you have asked its name, it will, before it was kind of laying down, just kind of basking in what little sunlight, because apparently it's still raining, even though that's like gray world rain, and this is a fucking dragon. So, it's just kind of basking in the sunlight, and then, it'll sit up straight, be all majestic and, puff itself up and say, I am Zeldrim, the the strong, the champion of dragons, and champion of the skies.
And Scaled Lord of the Grasnell.
Yes!
Karina nods. That actually wasn't a joke. She was actually asking.
Yeah, no, he's going with it now.
She'll say, I'm Baroness Karina Stormfury from House Eason. That is it.
Well, it is good to see you, Karina, of House Asen.
You as well, Zeldrin.
Nods. Well, I believe our time speaking is done. I do not wish for your help, because I have to share my treasure. That is simply unagreeable.
Fair enough. We'll get up, kind of dust yourself off. You have a good day then.
You as well, Karina.
And she will say, if you run into any trouble, though, you can come and find me and we can figure things out. Not that you would ever need anyone's help.
Of course. Me, a mighty dragon, needing the help of those so much smaller than I. Simply unheard of.
Karina's read like 20 books, the point of that being the opposite, but she's not going to bring that up right now.
Like, just let the prideful teenager be a prideful teenager.
Yeah, she kind of expected that. She was like, yeah, all right.
And, now with what he assumes is kind of the end of him ever having to deal with this tiny little changeling, he will lay back down and curl his head back under his wing.
And I think I'm good to, in there.
Okay. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene in Darkness in Dublin, where Karina did some shit. And now there's, this really prideful ass dragon.